So, good morning, my dear students. Welcome to today's physics class. We are in chapter 8, motion, and today we are going to discuss about average speed. Now, in previous classes, we have already discussed about speed, and today we are going to discuss about average speed. Now, why there is a need to find average speed? Now, the answer is quite simple. When certain things happen in different ways or at different magnitude, so as a whole we take what average. For example, the average marks of the class, then average age of the students in a class, so that is what average when there are number of participants or number of variables. Now similarly, average speed is calculated when a vehicle travels with variable speeds. That is, now let us discuss in the form of this example. Suppose a vehicle from point A to point B moves with a speed of 50 km per hour, and from point B to point C it moves with, let's say, 70 km per hour. Now can you say what is the speed of the vehicle from point A to point C? We can't make out. I mean, here for the first half of the journey it traveled with a speed of 50 km per hour, and for the next half of the journey it traveled with a speed of what? 70 km per hour. So if somebody asks what is the speed of the vehicle from point A to C, will not be able to say. But yes, if it is asked to find what is the average speed of the vehicle from point A to B, that we can find. Hence, in those cases, we need to say we have to calculate what? Average speed, but not speed, because we have seen there are two different speeds for this journey from point A to point C. Thus, we have to calculate what? Average speed in this case. So, now what is the formula to find average speed? Just like speed, we need to change only one thing. Now see, from point A to B, the vehicle moves with a speed of what? 50 km per hour. So the speed from point A to B is what? Is fixed. So formula to find average speed is almost similar to that of formula to find speed. So if we just hide this part, now what is the formula of speed? It is what? Distance by time. This we have already discussed. Now if we include the word average here, so the average speed, so just a slight change we have to do. We need to add another word here, that is total. So average speed is nothing but total distance divided by total time. So if we only say what is speed, speed is only distance divided by time, and if we say average speed, it becomes total distance divided by total time. So this is how we calculate what? Average speed. And the SI unit is again same as that of speed or velocity. That is, the SI unit is what? Meter per second. So this is how average speed is calculated. Now I will be illustrating this with the help of a numerical problem. So let us try to solve a numerical. Now let us consider this case itself. Now in this case, the vehicle travels the first half of the journey at a speed of 50 km per hour, and the second half of the journey at a speed of 70 km per hour. Now if you are asked to find what is the average speed of this vehicle, how will you find? Now we know that average speed is what? Just write in short, average speed is what? Total distance, which I am writing as TD, by total time. Now to apply this formula, we need to know what is the total distance and also total time for this journey. Now suppose you are not given the total distance and also you are not given total time, then how are you going to find? So we can still find the answer by assuming that the total distance from point A to point C is twice x. Now why twice x? I'm going to explain this now. See, the entire journey from point A to C is broken down into two parts and two equal parts. The first part is from point A to B and the second part is from point B to C. Remember, these are equal parts. Now, since the entire journey is divided in two equal parts, so the total distance we can assume as what? 2x, so that each part becomes what? X. This will be easier to calculate. That's why I have taken 2x. Otherwise, if you take the entire journey x as x, then each part becomes what? X by 2, and that becomes a fraction, which then the calculation becomes little bit difficult. Thereby, I have taken twice x. Now tell me, if the entire journey would have been broken into three equal parts, what we can take here? So in that case, the total distance will take as 3x. Similarly, if the entire journey is broken into four equal parts, we will take the total distance as 4x. So now let us see how we can find the average speed. Now we don't even know what? Time. So let us assume the time taken by the vehicle from point A to B as what? T1, and the time taken for the vehicle to move from point B to C as what? T2. Now we know what is speed. Speed is equal to distance by time. Therefore, here we can write time T1 as what? Now since speed is equal to distance by time, therefore we can write time equal to what? Distance by speed. So we know what is the distance for the first half. It is x, and what is the speed? Speed is 50. So T1 becomes x by 50. Similarly, if we find T2, now T1 is what? Distance 1 by speed 1. Distance 1 is x, and speed for the first part is 50. So we have written here 50. Similarly, time T2 is what? The second part of the journey. For the second part of the journey, what is the distance? Distance is again what? Same, is x, but what is the speed here? Speed is 70. So we'll write here what? 70. So we got the values of T1 and T2. Now T1 is time taken by the vehicle to move from point A to B, and T2 is the time taken by the vehicle to move from point B to C. So what is the total time now? Total time will be T1 plus T2. So total time is equal to what? T1 plus T2. Now what is the value of T1 we got here? We got x by 50. What is the value of T2? Value of T2 is x by 70. So if we take the LCM of 50 and 70, we'll get 350. So here we can write 7x plus here we can write 5x. So 7x plus 5x will become what? 12x divided by 350. So we got total time as 12x by 350. So now just note it down, this one here, so that I can rub it. 12x by 350. So this is the total time we got. Now find the average speed. So applying this formula here, we get total distance by total time. So total distance we have already discussed, it is what? Twice x. So we'll put twice x for total distance, and total time we got what? 12x divided by 350. So it is 12x upon 350. Now here this denominator will go to what? Numerator. So it becomes 2x into 350 divided by 12x. Now this rule already we have discussed yesterday while converting the units. This is rule of what? Divisions. When there is a fraction in a denominator, the denominator part comes to the numerator. So this 350 being the denominator goes to the numerator. Now here 12, this x and x will be cancelled, then 2 6 ja 12, so we got here 350 divided by 6. So this is 350 by 6 kilometer per hour. Now this you can keep it as fraction, but preferably try to solve this fraction. So if we try to solve this fraction, what we are going to get, so let us just find out. 350 divided by 6, so 6 5s are 30, so this 5 will come down, so this 0 will come down, becomes 50, so 6 8 ja 48, 2 will come down, one decimal, can give 0 here, so 6 3 ja 18, again 2, so this 3 will be repeated. So finally this fraction, if we convert into decimal, it becomes what? It becomes 58.33. It will continue. So this is 58.333 kilometer per hour. So the average speed is what? 58.33 kilometers. Now remember one thing, students. Now the average speed will be always in between the values of minimum speed and maximum speed. So this is how we can find the average speed.